today I have 6 very good-looking and talented young men in the studio, none other than LC9. Hello. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네. 뭐 그럼 없나요?
네. Hey yo, what's good?
LC9 안녕하세요, LC9입니다.
그쵸. 아이돌들이 빠질 수 없는 인사. Alright, so we have LC9 in the studio. Could you please introduce yourselves? 각자 한 번씩 인사 부탁드릴게요.
예, 저는 LC9에서 LC9에서
네.
보컬과 랩을 맡고 있는 제이효라고 합니다.
네.
네, 저는 팀에서 리더를 맡고 있고 약간 섹시한 이미지를 맡고 있는 라사입니다.
네, 저는 LC9에서 메인 보컬을 맡고 있는 킹이라고 합니다.
네.
네, 저는 LC9에서 막내 아우라고 합니다.
네.
네, 저는 LC9에서 비주얼을 맡고 있는 중이라고.
저는
LC9의 래퍼 이든입니다.
Okay, so we have the very 6 and talented boys in the studio. Okay, for all of our listeners, I have like 50 pages of questions. So I don't know how we're going to be able to do all this today, but let's jump start into the name of your team. Eden, obviously you're from Canada.
Yeah.
So, all right. So your English obviously is going to be good, hopefully.
Yeah, it's actually better than my Korean.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you born and raised in Canada?
No, I went there when I was 5.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
lived there for most of your life.
For like 17 years, 15, 17 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, there's a big gap between 15 and 17.
like 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
So most of your life you lived in Canada.
Yeah.
So, could you tell us a little bit about, the name of the group?
The name is LC9,
Mhm.
League of Competition 9.
Okay.
And League of Competition is supposed to represent sort of like the competition we went through as trainees.
Okay.
We had a lot of other trainees that competed for this spot,
Okay.
and sort of like the competition that we're gonna have as artists in the K-pop scene. Because there's a lot of new groups these days.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right, so a great name indeed. All right, now, like you just said, you guys have been rumored to have at least 5-year minimum, so to speak, of a trainee life.
Yeah.
So how was that like? I mean, each one of you, how long did you guys practice? 각자 연습 기간은 대충 어느 정도 되나요?
가장 긴 사람이 5년 정도 되고요.
네.
그다음에 평균적으로는 2년에서 3년 정도, 2년.
3, 4년 정도.
네.
Okay, so King and Lassa said that the longest person in the group would be 5 years, and then a minimum is at least 2 to 3 years. Okay, so I want to ask you guys, obviously 2 to 3 years to 5 years, that's not a short time, it's a very long time, especially for you to be growing up. So did you guys ever want to give up at any time? Did you ever want to just kind of throw in the rag?
Yes, it was all for all of us. I think it was hard, especially the ones who've been here longer.
Okay.
But for me, especially because I was from another country,
Okay.
it was even harder, I think, because I didn't really have many friends to see or anything like that on the days we had breaks. But you kind of trust the company,
Okay.
and you get really close with your roommates. So
Okay. All right. Thank you, Eden, for that. Now, I want to ask, other than you personally, during practice, what was the hardest? I mean, individually. 연습 시절 중에서 그래도 본인은 제일 힘들었었다. 뭐 춤이 안 돼서 춤 연습이 제일 힘들었다든지, 아니면 노래가 안 돼서.
네, 그건
답답하죠?
제이효입니다. 저는 제가 말씀해드리겠습니다. 저 연습생 시절 때 가장 견디기 힘들었던 순간은 저는 이렇게 노래나 뭐 춤 그런 거는 연습을 하면
그쵸.
극복할 수 있다고 생각하거든요. 그런데 이제 연습을 하면서 같이 연습하던 친구가 나가거나 제가 그러니까 5년 동안 연습을 하면서 수많은 친구들 봤거든요. 힘들어서 나간 친구도 있고 평가를 봐서 실력이 안 돼서 이렇게 그만두게 된 친구도 많은데 주로 이제 힘들어서 그냥 나간 친구들 얘기를 들으면 이제 나가서 자기는 이제 잠깐 그 힘들었던 순간이 이제 해방됐으니까 행복하고 뭔가 되게 그런 모습들을 저한테 얘기를 해줘요. 난 이제 그만둬서 행복하다. 근데 저는 그때가 좀 힘들었던 것 같아요. 그냥 친구들이 같이 연습하던 친구들이 나가서 힘들어서 못 견디고 나가서 난 지금 행복해 이렇게 말을 하는 게 근데 하지만 이제 지금 그 친구들이 저한테는 이제 되게 부러워하고 지금
그쵸.
제가 하는 걸 자기는 이제 그때는 힘들었지만 지금 생각해 보면 아 그냥 버티고 할 걸
그쵸.
그런 말들을 많이 하더라고요. 그 순간이 전 제일 힘들었던 것 같아요.
Okay, so Teo says that he was the one that was actually practicing for the longest, and for those 5 years he saw so many people come in and come out, and he said the hardest time for him was when his fellow trainees, his friends, would leave the company either because they went out on their own or because they were arranged to go to either different companies. But whenever they said that they were going through a hard time and that they were happy, he kind of felt, I guess, left out, or that he was in a rut, so to speak. So he was hard then, but now it seems that he's been able to see that those friends said, oh man, I wish I could have overcome that, and then just stuck with it just like you did. Alright, so how did you guys start becoming a singer? 연습생 된 계기는 어떻게 뭐 오디션, 뭐 대회, 뭐 어떻게 하게 되셨나요?
각자 다 다르지만
네.
저 같은 경우는 이제 노래 대회에서 캐스팅이 된 경우는 노래 대회에서 캐스팅이 된 경우고 각자 조금씩 다 다를 것 같아요. 네.
Okay, so King says he was at a singing competition. He got casted. Who else? 다른 분들은?
전 라사인데요. 저는 이제 오디션을 지원해가지고
오.
근데 제가 이제 지원했을 당시는 이렇게 공개 오디션이나 이런 게 아니고 약간 비공개 오디션으로 이렇게 직접 지원을 했어야 되는 그런 시스템이어가지고
아.
저는 약간 좀 치열한 경쟁을 하고 들어왔었어요.
Oh, okay. So Lassa says that he went through a audition process that it was an open audition. It was more so an audition where they had to directly contact the company, and because of that, that was even a higher chance of him to not get in. But thanks to competition, he was able to go through that and become a member. Who else? 다른 분들은?
네, 저는 제이호입니다. 저는 인터넷 캐스팅을 당했어요.
어떡해요?
미니 홈페이지 같은 사진을 보고 연락이 오셨더라고요.
이미지 캐스팅.
네네네. 그걸로 캐스팅이 돼서 저는 원래 부산에서 왔거든요.
네.
부산에서 캐스팅이 됐어요. 그래서 이제 캐스팅이 돼서 올라왔는데 그게 첫 회사는 지금 이 회사가 첫 회사는 아니고요. 원래는 밴드를 준비했었거든요. 제가. 그래서 이제 스킬을 이제 기타 정도 이제 악기를 다룰 수 있습니다.
Okay, so Teo says that he was actually casted online through his homepage. People were able to look through the pictures, and then he was casted. He came up from Busan, and this was in his first company. He was actually preparing in a band, and he was able to even learn the guitar as well. Who else? 다른 분들은?
전 준이라고 하는데요. 저도 부산에서 올라왔는데 저는 오디션을 수원 가량 붙을 때까지 계속 오디션 보는 것 같아요.
같은 회사요? 아니면 다른 회사?
다른 회사 처음에 보다가
네. 그런 친구들 있을 수도 있으니까.
저는 가수가 되는 게 목적이기 때문에 그런 거 가리지 않고 계속 오디션만.
Oh, okay. So Jun says that he also came up from Busan as well, and he auditioned and auditioned and auditioned.
오디션만 세월나.
Yeah, to try and get into a company because he really wanted to become a singer. Then what about our youngest? 우리 막내는 어떤가요?
네, 전 아오인데요. 저도 이제 학원에서 음악을 배우다가 이제 오디션을 저도 되게 굉장히 많이 봤거든요. 저도 거의 20번 정도 보다가 이제 좀 지쳐 있을 때 안 붙어서 그때 이제 우연찮게 봤는데 이게 결과가 좋게 나와서
Okay.
운이 좋았어요.
All right. So Al says that he was also going to an institute for singing and acting, and then he was able to audition a lot as well. And when he was about to give up, he was able to be casted, and then that's how he was able to come into the group. Now, Eden, we've been getting a lot of questions from you, especially from Canada. We have a lot of Canadian listeners. One of them is from Eric, who says, most Korean American artists are obviously from America. So, being from Canada, did you even get a little bit of an outsider feel from the other English-speaking artists?
Not really, actually. They're very welcoming. Like, I've had, especially when I was a trainee.
Okay.
Like I said how I didn't really have friends, but the people I did know were like English-speaking trainees from other companies.
Okay.
And like I knew them through, like just people I know and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're very welcoming, and it just feels like the same kind of. And of course Sam, who's Luna Fly he was really good to me too.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about him later because there's a lot of Sam questions revolving you guys as well. All right, so let's jump straight into your album. Now, because you guys have been practicing for so long, two of our members have been auditioning so much. Now the first album came out. Who cried? 솔직하게 울었던 멤버. 앨범 딱 나왔을 때.
이번에 운 멤버는 없습니다.
아.
저희가 연습생 시작이 한 지 얼마 안 돼서 이제 팀이 꾸려지고
네.
뭔가 앨범이 나올 것 같다는 느낌이 왔을 때는 운 적은 있어요. 근데 지금 연습생 기간이 좀 되면서 다들 독해졌어요. 네, 독해져서 울지는 않았어요. 저희가 사실적으로 울지 않았습니다.
Okay, all right.
대신에 기뻤죠, 굉장히.
Okay. So King says when they were trainees and when they first started hearing that they might debut soon, then they started, getting a little teary-eyed. But throughout the years, they started getting stronger. And so they didn't cry this time around, but they were very, very happy that it came out.